What happens when silence speaks louder than words? What if the truth is not hidden in scandals, but in what no one dares to explain? And what if the most uncomfortable secrets are revealed not by confrontation, but by distance? Today on Magazine News and Gossip, we dive into a story that was never meant to be public. A story without photos, without official statements, without dramatic scenes, and yet powerful enough to change everything. What really happened between Sara Bluma, Jan Yaman, and Demet Özdemir in Spain? Was this a coincidence, a quiet reunion, or the moment when one chapter silently ended? Stay with us until the end, because what Sara did next was not emotional. It was calculated, and no one saw it coming. This was not a public scandal. There were no paparazzi chases, no viral videos, no explosive headlines. What happened was far more uncomfortable. A secret revealed at the worst possible moment. Ask yourself honestly, can anyone truly remain calm when they discover that two of the most important people in their life are meeting quietly, far away, out of sight, out of the narrative? In this video, we will explain how Sara found out about the meeting, why the information completely destabilized her, and how it led her to make a decision that changed the direction of this story forever. Here at Magazine News and Gossip, we do not shout. We do not attack. We analyze. We observe. And we tell what happens behind the scenes. This narration is created for entertainment purposes, based on publicly available information and narrative analysis. Everything began in a much simpler way than many imagine. There was no spying, no elaborate plan, no intentional investigation. It started with a casual conversation, one of those conversations that appear insignificant, but end up changing everything. Sara Bluma was not searching for information about Jan Yaman. She was not tracking Demet Özdemir. Her focus was on a different personal stage of her life. But when certain names repeat themselves in certain contexts, it becomes impossible not to listen.
Spain.
A short trip. A discreet encounter. At first, the information arrived incomplete. No details. No confirmations. And that was exactly what unsettled her. Because when something is false, it is usually exaggerated. But when something is real, it is told quietly. Sara tried to rationalize it. She told herself it could be a professional coincidence, a brief greeting, an inevitable crossing in the same country. But the more she asked, the more the pieces started to align. Dates, timelines, public silence. And that was when discomfort appeared. It was not just that Jan and Demet were in Spain. It was how they were there. No photos.
No posts.
No explanations. Sara's first reaction was not anger. It was confusion. Because there is a big difference between suspecting something and realizing you no longer control the narrative. She did not know what to think. She did not know if she even had the right to feel affected. But she could not ignore what she was hearing. And here is a key point many people miss. Jealousy does not always come from fear of losing. Sometimes it comes from fear of not being informed. That was what destabilized her. Not the meeting itself, but discovering it through others. Each new detail carried weight, not because it was dramatic,
but because it made sense.
And when a story starts to make sense, it stops being just a rumor. Sara began asking herself questions she had avoided before. And those questions did not let her rest. But what truly marked a turning point was not what she heard. It was what she decided to do next. Because Sara did not react as many expected. She did not call. She did not confront. She did not demand explanations. She did something far more direct. Stay until the end because Sara's next step changed everything. Sara Bluma did not decide to travel to Spain impulsively. This was not a tantrum, not an emotional explosion. It was a dangerous mix of intuition, wounded pride, and the need for answers. When someone feels something important is happening behind their back, they do not always seek confrontation. Often they seek confirmation. For hours, Sara tried to convince herself not to go. She told herself she might be exaggerating, that she was misinterpreting signs. But every time she tried to close the topic, the same thought returned. If she did not go, the doubt would remain, and that doubt would grow. This is a detail often ignored in stories like this. It is not just about romantic jealousy. It is about emotional control, about feeling that the story is being written without you, while you only receive fragments. That was what tipped the balance. Sara bought the ticket, without announcing it, without posting it, without telling even those closest to her. It was a silent decision, almost strategic. Spain was not a random destination. According to what she had heard, it was where Yaman and Demet were meeting, with a discretion that attracted too much attention. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jan and Demet continued their activities, without any public sign of something unusual. No photos together,
No statements.
no visible gestures. And that silence was exactly what created the most noise. Sara arrived in Spain with one clear goal: observe, understand, decide later. She was not going to force an encounter. She was not going to create an uncomfortable scene. This was an internal journey, not a public one. She wanted to see if what she heard made sense when faced with reality. And sometimes, reality does not need big gestures to be decisive. What Sara found in Spain was not what she expected, and it forced her to rethink everything. She did not need to get close. There was no need for a direct conversation. Small details were enough. The way Jan and Demet shared space, without exaggerated looks, without unnecessary gestures. They were not performing for anyone, and that made the scene even stronger. There was calm. There was naturalness. No visible tension, but no forced distance either. It was a scene that did not scream anything, and precisely because of that, it said everything. There were no kisses, no dramatic gestures, no nervousness, no urgency. But there was something Sara could not ignore: a quiet complicity, the kind that cannot be improvised, a connection that does not need public explanation to feel real. That was the hardest moment, because she understood she was not witnessing a scandal in construction, but a story with a shared past. That realization was decisive, not because of what she saw, but because of what she stopped expecting. Sara understood that sometimes you do not lose when someone else gets closer. You lose when you realize you no longer occupy the same place in someone else's emotional narrative. That awareness arrives quietly, when there is nothing left to discuss. There was no confrontation, no reproach. Sara chose silence, not out of weakness, but clarity. She left without leaving a trace. She returned with more clarity than she arrived, not with absolute answers, but with certainty. Forcing a situation would not change anything. From that moment on, Sara's behavior changed. More reserved, more careful, more aware that not all stories need a public ending. Some only need to know when to step away. Sometimes closure is internal. Jan and Demet, for their part, continued without confirming or denying anything, and that silence fueled interpretations. Because when there is no official version, every gesture becomes meaningful. What is certain is that after that trip, something shifted, not toward a happy ending, not toward explosive drama, but toward a different distance, a more mature one. If you enjoy stories told with context, without exaggeration, subscribe and turn on notifications. Magazine news and gossip continues to bring you narratives that go beyond headlines. Thank you for staying until the end. Not everyone does, and that says a lot about your interest. This channel grows because of a community that values analysis and respect. We do not impose versions. We open space for reflection.
Now, we want to hear from you.
What do you think? Was this love? Or a story shaped by silence?